Hola, buenas tardes a todos, la comunidad de profesionales, empresarios, emprendedores, interesados por temas de transformación digital. Hoy día estamos acá contentos de tener como invitado en este ciclo de conversación a Christopher Laska, Gerente General de Telecomunicación de compañías WOM. Christopher nos va a contar un poco más su experiencia y sus puntos de vista respecto a estos desafíos que viven grandes empresas como este sector de telecomunicaciones. Voy a hacer una breve introducción de quién es Christopher. Christopher tiene 20 años de experiencia en el mundo de las telecomunicaciones, trabajó en Telenor, fue gerente de Telenor en Hungría por más de 5 años, tiene estudios de ciencias en la Universidad de Bradford y posgrados también en el extranjero. Mucha experiencia en estos temas, sabemos que es un apasionado por los temas de innovación, sabemos que es un apasionado por los temas de transformación, así que sobre esos temas él nos va a compartir hoy día. Yo más bien voy a hacer un rol de moderador y de provocador en estos temas. So Christopher, thank you for accepting the invitation. Thank you very much for joining to this interview. Yeah. This is a great experience for us to have you here and for the audience to know more about what you are doing in the company. First of all, I would like you to tell us about the company, WOM, the services, main services, your experience so far in this time you've been in Chile. Yeah. What are your expectations in the company?
Mucho gusto. Hola a todos. Experience so far is fantastic. I joined WOM 10 months ago almost, so the time is going very fast. So WOM, I joined WOM because WOM is a company with a fantastic culture. So I think what I looked from the outside and it seemed like it was true after I've been here for a while. It's an unusual company that it's a structure that is flat. It's a company which participated in changing the way some companies work, in that people working here should be passionate, they should really be transparent and have strong ethics, and also challenge the status quo, meaning that if you really want to move forward in your business, you have to say and recommend what does it take to get this or that result, and not to be passive and wait for it. And at the same time in society, the advertising and the position of WOM is famous in that we embrace diversity. I don't care where you are from, I don't care which party you are for or which sex you support. And the rationale for me of this is quite simple, is that going forward in transformation, you need people who are passionate, but you need collaboration. You need people who can communicate. Mm-hmm. And there's one thing that WOM has done very well in the start, and that is to really put the customers in focus. And in order to do that in a good way, you have to have a company culture where people come from different backgrounds, and because the customer base in Chile is diverse. And then we also, as a company, need to have a share of people who can understand how people think in this country. Mm-hmm. So that's a bit of the logic of where WOM is coming from. And then I think if you asked what has WOM really achieved in these 4 years, I would say, first of all, the company completely changed the pricing position in the marketplace, cut the price per gigabit with almost 95%, and the same with voice, because Chile was very unfair in terms of the pricing for the people. It was a very, very high price to compare to what customers deserve in the country, and And WOM was the one who changed that completely. And today, the whole market has adjusted in the big time.
Sure. Actually, you just said that you are focusing. Well, one of the achievements in this past 2 years maybe was attacking pricing, maybe, but also maybe focusing on customers, improving their experience at the end of the day. So, because finally, digital transformation is about understanding that the market change, people change, so they deserve better service, easier, more intuitive, faster, and better quality finally. So the companies have to change to provide that level of services. So what are you doing in order to achieve that?
Well, I think part of this is that we have listened to the customers and the market, and not necessarily what consultants and technology providers are recommended. So for example, with our position of Nadie te demas, it means that at WOM you always get more. And that means when we give a new offering of a package of pricing, we don't only give that to new customers, we give it to all the existing customers in the base. And that's why part of the culture and where we're going is part of this piloting. You try something out, for example, with Wi-Fi calling and Volte. We launch it from the south to the north, and not only for a rich segment in Santiago, but when we launch something, we aim to give it to everyone equally. So I think that's a culture of what is important to keep and develop and nurture over time.
Perfect. People now are more willing to. It doesn't matter. It's young people, not really young. They are actually more involved on getting the service through the digital channels online. So, since your point of view, how mature is the digital channel in WOM? What are the next step? What can you do right now? What a customer can do right now, and what they will be able to do maybe in a short term or medium term, you are going to be, because there are different services that has to be achieved, like for example e-commerce. How strong are you to provide e-commerce services like selling equipments or devices online? Is part of the goal or not really?
I mean, as I explained, that at WOM we are transparent. So if I will be very honest, we are not very advanced in the e-commerce, because I think before you really want to prepare, and you can call it transformation or digital, but I don't like to talk about digital transformation, by the way, because very few people externally or the customers understand what it really is, and the same internally. I think it's very important to look at how can we radically improve and simplify the experience in all the customers' channels, and how can customers choose the channel of their preference. So it's not necessarily to force everyone to use online. I think that's an experience that I have. But in order to be more advanced, I think first you have to improve your culture and processes internally, because what is really needed is to have a process to learn how do you create the right intuitive design, so that it can be very simple and one click to order a service, and also that we can show that we trust our customers because we have so much information about them. So if you are a customer of WOM and you want to order a Netflix or something else, it shouldn't, we should trust you to just have a click rather than to register on your own. So I would answer that before we go further to more advanced e-commerce, etc., there are many things we have to simplify to what customers in Chile really deserve on the app, for example.
Yeah.
And we have done quite a few things recently, and I would say first we need to improve a lot of steps to make it even simpler and more attractive to use our app, and also think about how it relates to other channels at WOM, such as customer care.
And because you're international, you have international experience in other markets, like in Europe, or I thought I read about you in Singapore. How do you see Chilean market, Chilean people, Chilean customers? Are we ready for more? We are looking for more better services. How do you see us as a market?
I think a lot of things have happened in the market in Chile over the last few years, of great work that's been done in online shopping, from Falabella to Corner Shop to Uber here. You have Cabify. So I think that the trends and the needs of customers in Chile, I think it's more advanced than in many other markets. If I give a figure of the use per megabit for data, I think it's around 14 megabits per person per month, and that's very close to the US. So Chile is way beyond any market in South America, which is why I say Chile should not compare, in my view, with other markets in this region. We should look at how can we really learn from what's going on here, but also what is world-class internationally.
Yeah.
So I think my experience that young people and people in general, when it comes to choice of channels, the trends are the same everywhere in the world. Just have to prepare to get it. Telecommunications companies are, in my view, much slower than any of the OTT providers, and are struggling on this transformation because it's complicated. We are regulated, and you have to take care of much more complex things, such as the billing systems, and legacy systems needs to be changed and modified, and processes needs to be simplified. So in terms of a transformation of what I'm talking about, it's a lot of hard work that needs to be done internally on the systems for preparations, but also in terms of capabilities in the organization. Training, we need new capabilities to the company. And answering your question about Chile, because there has been advanced companies in retail, some trials in online banking, etc. There are more people here than I expected with competency. Yeah. So far, it's my preference to recruit people in Chile, and so far it's looking pretty good, because I'm willing to bring people from wherever in the world if necessary. But so far, if you look really hard, we can find fantastic people. And luckily, now that WOM is maturing and becoming, let's say, a more famous company that is trusted to be here for the longer term, I see that more and more people are very keen to work in WOM.
Yeah. So we are really happy WOM is here finally, and we are really happy you and your team is changing the market, because finally I think the winner is going to be the consumer, and the people actually who get the services. Yeah. So more competition is better for all of us. Yeah. So great expectation about that, and really I think we are just going to the end of the interview. Thank you very much for your time. This is a great experience you are sharing with the audience. Thank you very much again.
I can also finally say that, first of all, thank you for all the viewers, and I would either hope I'm invited back or invite myself back, because I do have a few things that I'm planning over the next months. that it would be very exciting for me to show. Rather than talk about it or show PowerPoints, I'd like to show more in practice of some of the things coming that I cannot really talk about now.
Confidential maybe, a little so far, but it's about innovation and these kind of things.
Yeah, it's about doing things in practice that I'm talking about now.
Perfect, that will be amazing. Please, thanks. We will be talking soon for our next interview in the future after you can tell us more about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.